it sounds simple, but it's harder than I think folks think it is. And to add some context here, we have given a couple talks about side projects before, and we even ran a essentially a survey in our Slack community, like asking folks where where they're struggling with in terms of side projects. And the number one reason was I don't know what to build. I'm having trouble coming up with an idea of something to build as a side project, which is why we're holding this session, and which is why this slide is so important. So this doesn't only apply for side projects; this applies to any product in general. The best products are products that solve a problem, and what this means is that you always want to work backwards when you're creating a side project or a product. And this is actually a very powerful skill in general. Rahul and I have given a couple talks before about like how to become a 10x engineer, how to learn quickly. Working backwards is such a powerful concept. So organically, how you want to do this is you want to like live your life like everyone else. And then when you see something that doesn't seem perfect or is slightly inefficient or frustrating, you have identified a problem, and then from there you want to come up with a solution for that problem. If it's something that can be solved with technology like an app, then that's boom, that's your side project idea. And conversely, this is like the opposite of what you want to do. Is you don't want to work forwards. So something I see a lot with not just people building side projects but just people building entire companies is they will work forwards from one of these two things, either a trendy piece of technology or an existing popular app. So like trendy tech is like blockchain, VR, stuff like that. Like you'll see folks who they just go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put, random thing in VR. Like I'm gonna put textbooks in VR, right? And then they, they put it out there and no one uses it. They might have a great launch post, which gets a lot of likes because, oh yeah, VR is really cool. But then like no one uses it. And it's because they're not working backwards from a real problem. They're not trying to concretely improve someone's like life. They're just trying to build something cool. And yeah, something cool can get you likes on social media, but it won't get you users. And the next one is popular app, where it's like, okay, I've seen this popular app, take off. I'm just going to build popular app, but geared for like a different vertical. So like I'm going to build like, Airbnb for parking or something. I don't know. And then it's the exact same problem, right? You're not working backwards from a problem. You're not working backwards from a human need. You're working forward from something that's cool. And you're hoping that the coolness of this thing will kind of carry your product. And that just doesn't work. So yeah, I think like how I would best approach it is we live in an age where we can actually be pretty spoiled when it comes to our products. And I think a lot of how products add value to the world is they just make things like slightly more efficient. And it's it's it can be hard for folks to kind of turn on that sense. So my advice to everyone here is, yeah, as you're living your life, demand perfection from the products you interact with and just from like the ecosystem that you interact with. Not like in a public annoying way, of course, but just when you work with anything, like even if it's a process that takes 30 seconds and you want it to take 20 seconds, make a note of that, because that is, again, that's potentially your side project idea. And that's actually how I've built a lot of my projects, like a lot of my apps. Because a lot of the apps that I've built, like I was doing like some random, like relatively menial tasks, like rolling dice in a board game. And then I would look for, existing apps that can roll dice. And then I would obviously think about the physical experience of rolling dice. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is like it works, but I can make this like slightly better, like 10 or 20% better. And I actually built an app around rolling dice and generating random numbers and generating random numbers in general. And I made it really clean. So, I minimized the number of clicks, and it was like really intuitive design. And, I had like a nice dice rolling sound. And that was a 500,000 install app. So yeah, just demand perfection from your products. And as soon as you see as soon as you feel anything that's like not completely perfect, like think about like, can I make this perfect with by building something?
Yeah, and I feel like that third bullet point here, demand perfection from products, that is a really powerful way of framing opportunity, right? Because if you look at the world or look at, I mean, let's scope it down to let's look at different mobile apps in your phone. I can guarantee that if you use any app for any decent amount of time, you will find things that are imperfect about it, right? And you can actually view those as things where if you can actually create a cohesive experience with just that, that can be a really meaningful project. Exactly kind of what Alex mentioned of like this dice rolling app.